This is a special web segment of the night show. We don't usually do this with guests, but this is not a normal night. As you can tell, I have egg all over my head. And that means one thing only. Mark Summers is here from Double Dare and Unwrapped. Whoa. So, I get the feeling we could fill like 8 or 9 shows with you, but we're going to just do a web segment here because you were telling me some interesting things about Double Dare. Stuff that you said you hadn't really talked about before, which is interesting.
We talked on the phone before I came here, and I said there's one story that I've never, ever told on television, and I figured 25 years, Viacom doesn't want to do this anymore. The hell with it. Let's just tell them, okay? Now we're talking, right? So, you know, before you do a physical challenge, you have to try it out. So we used to bring 5th and 6th grade kids from the Philadelphia area because that's where we started, and then eventually in New York, and then finally in Orlando. And so the deal was, unless we did it 3 times in rehearsal, we wouldn't put it on the air. And so the problem was, everybody who was doing that show was, you know, somewhere between 25 and 35 at the time. And maybe, you know, not politically correct back in the day. And so every physical challenge became something to do with sex, orgasms, something filthy. And we would be laughing as producers and talent over on the side, and the kids had no idea what the hell we were talking about. But we would do this. Well, little did we know that word got out, and the videotape operators at WHYY, where we started in Philadelphia, started to record these and pass them around internally at the station. And all of a sudden, I get this phone call from the folks at Nickelodeon going, "What in the hell's going on down there?" And I said, "I don't know, what are you talking about?" "Well, I heard that you're being absolutely obscene during the physical challenge rehearsals." I went, "I don't know where you're getting your information." "Well, we've got this tape that was just sent to us," and so we had to calm things down. And Ken, the gentleman he's passed away now, was the tape operator, was the guy who instigated the whole thing, and he just thought it was absolutely hysterical. It's sort of like there's a classic tape of Soupy Sales used to have people knock at the door, and he opened the door once, and there was a topless waitress there bouncing her wares. And Soupy thought it was being recorded. He thought his life flashed in front of him. And so, you know, today, because of social media and because of everybody's got a cell phone, chances are that would have leaked out, and I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be selling shoes in Pacoima or something. But luckily, nobody knew at the time. And yeah, so that was a little thing that happened that I've never told. And I was happy to tease that with you and have a conversation with you about that.
That's interesting. The other thing I wondered about, have you been back to what used to be Nick Studios?
Yeah, I was back about 2 or 3 years ago. They brought back Guts.
Oh, right.
I went down there to see a taping because it was all the people who did our show originally. I hadn't seen them in years. And it's creepy because the Nick Studios are now where they do a Blue Man Group.
Right.
And there's still plaques up that, you know, we have our show and all this kind of stuff. But it's kind of a ghost town. And the whole point was to have a place, you know, the whole theme on Nick used to be the place where where kids always win.
Right.
And when new management, Geraldine Laybourne, who put Nickelodeon on the map, who was one of the smartest executives in the history of the world, left. They brought in a new guy, and he hated Florida. He didn't want to do it. He shut the place down, and people still to this day are sort of angry about the fact that, because that was a destination, and it was really competitive with Disney in the day, but no longer.
It was great. I remember we were there just before it opened in 1990, and there's a picture of me that I was standing outside the Universal Studios Florida sign with a sad face because we couldn't get in, because I wanted to go in to see Nick Studios, which hadn't opened yet.
Had not opened as of yet.
The other thing that I used to, among the things I used to like that you did, every once in a while you'd bring people up, be it stagehands or audience members, to recite the rules of the show with you.
Yes, because I couldn't remember them.
Do you remember them now?
I can't memorize anything. It's a big problem I have. And so they had cue cards there for me every day. And Jeffrey Darby, who was our exec producer, said, "I'm going to not let you do that anymore." And I started to do the rules, and he was tearing up the cue cards in front of me. So let's see. Oh my gosh, you're going to put me on the spot.
Want me to get you started?
No. I'm going to ask you a question, and if you don't know the answer or think the other team doesn't have a clue, you can dare them to answer it for double the dollars. But be careful, because they can always double dare you back, and then you either have to answer that.
Double dare them back 4
times the amount.
4 times the bucks.
Okay, and then you can answer that question, or you can take the physical challenge.
Very nice.
Oh man. I haven't done that in a long time.
I'm officially not the nerd on stage right now.
4
Mark,
times the bucks, huh?
Thank you again for coming on the show.
Man.
Like I said earlier, we could fill up shows and shows and shows with you, but it sounds...
I will come back, because I had such a darn good time.
Thank you. Mark Summers, everybody. Check us out Saturday nights at 11:30 on TV5 in Bangor, Saturday nights at 10 on WPXT in Portland. Thanks for watching.